what do you mean by smart knowledge?
First of all, good afternoon, Dr. Khan. Thank you for the invitation. Well, smart knowledge can take on different definitions. Smart, by the word smart, can mean as something that would address certain problems, provide solutions to certain problems. But smart knowledge to us in the development sphere is really knowledge that would address local problems. And that is the reason why at the OST and the Health Davao Network, we focus our efforts on developing technologies that would address local problems and provide solutions within the context of communities and within the context of grassroots communities. So by that, that's how we define smart knowledge, Dr. Khan. Localizing as SDGs, it's important that we are able to translate policies and programs from the regional level to the national level into local actions.
And the success I see is you are able to bring this knowledge to the politicians and to the NGOs, the local people. Can you please help us understand how such knowledge can be of interest to the politicians? And very importantly, for those colleagues who are watching from other parts of the world, the president of Philippines come also from Davao City, and you have worked very closely with him. So how do you bring those to the attention of the powers to be, and how do they understand the smart knowledge?
Dr. Khan, we always adhered to three approaches in bringing down high-level knowledge and innovations to the local level. The first approach is translation. I think it's important that we are able to translate our messages in a language that would be understandable, relatable to the local people. So that would require translation into the local language or dialect. And one very good example that I can cite where we have been successful in translating this high-level knowledge is the customized IWRM guidelines, which we did in 2011, I think. So using the IWRM guidelines developed by UNESCO as basis, we were able to customize these guidelines into one that would be applicable for Davao City and Davao region, and therefore making it more understandable and relatable to our local constituents. We were able to work with our local chief executives. I think that's the other strategy there. That when we deploy these tools and these approaches to the local government units, we should make champions out of these local chief executives or legislators.
A project about bringing knowledge from multidisciplines and making it into a simple to understand scorecard under this project of bringing. If we have any project, you look into which SDGs it is delivering, and then have a consensus on the scores and then evaluate the project. Can you please tell us about that project? And also, in my view, the greatest achievement from your work and work of colleagues there is that it was adopted by the regional board for assessing the project. So can you please give us some ideas about what a scorecard really means?
I'm happy that you asked this question, Dr. Khan, because we're delighted with the results that came out of this project. What we did was to develop we call it the Seti Scorecard, Science, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation Scorecard, with the support of UNESCO. We developed the scorecard with the engagement of as many stakeholders as possible, no? Coming from the five sectors of society, including the media. You might be amazed at how helpful the media was in disseminating this scorecard to our stakeholders in the region. The Seti Scorecard is a tool that we can use to evaluate or assess projects and programs in terms of their contribution to the attainment of the SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. It can be used as a pre-screening tool for programs and projects. If you intend to submit it as for funding, for example, by the Department of Science and Technology or by the national government, it can be used as a pre-screening tool. So with the support, with the adoption of the Regional Development Council here in Davao region, all programs and projects that are submitted for budget, national budget, goes through this evaluation. And we now have a resolution requiring all state universities and colleges, national government agencies, local government units, and even GOCCs or government-owned and controlled corporations within the region to use this scorecard to evaluate programs and projects for budget. It can also be used for evaluation of an ongoing project, how far these programs and projects have contributed or how much these programs and projects have contributed to the SDGs. And at the tail end, we can use it as a tool to evaluate the actual contributions of programs and projects to the SDGs.
What is your magic to excite these young people?
Well, I think the secret really is, again, we go back to the approach on translation. And we're happy and we're fortunate to have within our network, the Help Davao network, and within the DOSC family, young people who understands the language of young people, our millennials, and those who were born even after, the millennials. So you need to translate these messages in a language that would be understandable by the young people. And we've been quite successful in disseminating our IWRM guidelines to out-of-school youth, Dr. Khan, a series of trainings and orientation, because we see the important role of the youth, our young professionals, our young scientists, and even out-of-school youth in advancing our agenda on disaster risk reduction and integrated water resources management. Because the youth make up a large portion of our population. And if you are able to persuade this section of the population to our side and make them champions and advocates of IWRM and DRRM, then that would be a very good, accomplishment and help us translate our messages to the other sectors of society. Yeah, Dr. Khan, I as a broker, and second, as an integrator. As a broker, the platform can serve to provide the link between technology generators, technology developers on one side, that would include the academe, the government, research and development institutions, and even the private sector. Link them to the technology users and those that will commercialize these technologies and make them for public good to address environmental and social problems. So as a broker, it's not just a matter of linking, but really proactively determining what are the technologies that would be needed in the future, not just present, but in the future. And therefore, this has to be linked to the vision and the objectives of the platform. So if it's the objective is to address the SDGs, then we might need to do some foresighting or forecasting of the technologies that would be needed 5, 10, or 15 years from now to address future problems. And uh, so there would perhaps be a need to prioritize technologies that we should focus on at the MUCP platform. No? What are these technologies that should be prioritized to address urgent problems on the ground and problems that will be needed or technologies that will be needed to address future problems 5, 10, or 15 years and to address the SDGs. Second, as an integrator, I think it's important that MUCP platform and other similar platforms would be able to look at what's available across and vertically, across agencies, partner agencies, and vertically to see that there is no duplication and overlap of programs and projects so that we can maximize the benefits from available resources.